Alright, hello, this is Neil. Welcome back. Please visit my website, ipaintgirls.com, for more free tutorials. And we're going to continue with shading this girl here. So I was originally going to do more of a comic book shading, but I decided to go in with a realistic shading for now. I kind of started more comic book over here, so there's kind of a disjointed look now because she kind of has two different looks going on. So I should probably try to come more into that and make it more realistic. And hey, that's not the color I wanted. So I'm kind of also coming in and imagining the parts. Remember, the shoulder always comes in between the bicep and the tricep, and it's really short. So the shoulder rarely, depending on the angle, rarely is over on the edge here. A lot of people, they'll draw the shoulders over here like that, and so in other words, so they have their bicep down here, they would draw the shoulder like this. That line should have been like that. So they'll draw the shoulder like that when it should be like that. You should see part of the tricep back there. Like I said, it does depend on the angle. Another trick here is right where those two forms meet usually, you'll get a little bit of light right there. Just something you have to remember from coloring from references. Or, not coloring or drawing from references. So I want to make all these forms more 3D. And then I'll do the next one as more of a comic book shading, so we can learn that too. Because it's much easier and quicker. And it's how you can, do anime and comic books use more realistic approach sometimes, but like Marvel and stuff. Anyway, so remember, we have that shape there. We went over in the last part, and so we're going to want to treat it more flat. So we don't want to add too much difference. We're just a little bit like that, and that's it. We don't want to have like really any highlight. Maybe a little bit of highlight, not much though. You don't want much difference between the light and dark, otherwise it'll start looking bulbous, like it's really coming out at us. Because remember that as something comes away from us, all this can be darker because it's coming away from the light. It's kind of from the side, the knee kind of goes like that, right? So this part's coming away from the light source, so it's going to be darker. That's this part here. Remember that the darker something is, it makes it recede away from us, and the lighter something is, it makes it pop out toward us. And so just want to keep that in mind as you're adding the light and shade to make. See, now it has a more of a 3D look. Now it's kind of popping out. This part here is the furthest part away as it comes down, and so I want to reflect that. I'm going to get a little bit of light on this highest part of this bone here, the shin bone, but I don't want it to be super, because all this leg is also kind of receding away. So I want to kind of add it all. I'm going to have to shade it this way now. I want all the lines to kind of go. The easiest way for me to do this, actually, I'm going to cheat and pretend I'm going to use the digital quickness. I just want to put all that in shade since I know both of them are going to be in shade. Okay, so anyway, I kind of cheated there, but whatever. By cheating, I meant that I was supposed to be pretending I'm using a pencil, which is why I'm using the size 3 brush, but whatever. Because it does actually reflect a pencil a lot, especially if you're using a Cintiq, because then you're drawing right on the tablet itself, on the screen, and so it's much, it just feels much more like you're actually drawing. But even if you're using an Intuos, Bambu's the pressure sensitive. Damn it! Notice I'm just lightly building up that to show the plane change. Because, okay, remember, to best show this, it's kind of shaped like that. This is the highest part is the warp here. So whenever you do these lines, the part that has as you're doing these curves, that represents the highest part of whatever it is you're doing. And so I know that this is my highest part, so it's going to be the lightest here. And I know that there's kind of a shape like this, and then there's these shapes here, and this is like its own shape, and so I add a little bit of shading like that to kind of show that that's its own shape. and then these will get their own shape like that, and then kind of shade in like so. And so I'm kind of imagining one shape on top of another shape, and this is why it's actually really beneficial to model things, like whether you're using clay or to model things in a 3D program. Because what it does is it teaches you all these how when you model in a 3D program, what you'll learn is that you have to put shapes on top of shapes. So you'll have this kind of shape here you make first. It's kind of like this, sort of a cylinder, not quite a cylinder, but sort of. Let's say I'll kind of add more of the cylinder shape. So it's kind of a cylinder, and then this here is kind of like a tapered cylinder, let's say, and you put this into there, and so from the side view, they like mesh together like that. So that part of it disappears and it goes into it. And it's hard to explain what the hell I'm talking about, but if you model, what I'm talking about. That's like really basic modeling. Usually don't model that way, but you can do that, easily if you try it. I'm also going to treat this as its own shape. It's going to be its own sphere shape. Not quite a sphere, but it's a sphere that's going into here, and only part of it showing, right? So I'm only seeing part of that sphere, so I'm just seeing those lines right there. And you really want to think this way, as you're shading and stuff, because it'll really help you get, the detail and stuff you want to get. And I'm just kind of leave all that kind of, I'm just like feathering, almost as if I'm using a paintbrush without any paint on it, and I'm just lightly touching, so lightly touching that you can look, watch over here. See how lightly I'm touching? Oh, okay, that shouldn't have happened. I'm touching so lightly you can barely even see the lines. And it takes practice even to do that with a pencil, so you just want to practice a lot doing light strokes. Now I'm just going to slightly do a couple round lines just to kind of show the form. The darkest part over here of the foot, and I'm not actually doing a foot on this part over here with the toes and everything, because that would take too long. Like seriously, rendering feet can take quite a while, so I'm not going to bother with it. I'm just going to kind of instead imagine it kind of like it's a shoe, sort of. It's like a mannequin generic foot. Okay, that shouldn't happen. So notice I'm kind of darkest part over here, and I want to show there's going to be some highlight there, and then there's that little, see, if I come, I'm going to roll around almost like this horseshoe shape, kind of showing the anatomy there a little bit. It's really good when you're drawing feet to draw the circle here, ankle comes off, you have your ankles here. Remember, the inside ankle is always higher than the outside one. You want to call it an ankle, but this bone's always higher than that bone, like that. Then you kind of draw this shape here, that shape there, and then you can draw that shape. If you draw feet this way, it'll really help you when you're drawing your feet. They'll look much cooler. So just try it, man. It's really neat. A way to remember what ankle's high and what ankle's low, if you want to call them both ankles. They're not both ankles, but whatever. Just remember, inside is better. I don't know, relate it to poker or something. Beat on the inside is higher, and higher is better than lower. I don't know. That's how I did it. It worked for me. Because sometimes you will forget. You think it's easy enough to remember, but then I always forget. Like, what? But if I ever do, I don't forget anymore, I don't think. But if when I was first trying to remember those things, if I did forget, that's how I remember it is. What I just said. Inside is higher. Ah, that is so annoying. I know I keep saying I'm going to go and look for my box, but I don't feel like looking for it. Because, I don't know, I don't even know where to look. It could be anywhere. Just moved here to Oregon not long ago, and so because my grandma's dying of cancer. Well, we don't know if she's dying for sure. The doctor says that it's irreversible. But anyway, she needs a lot of help to be taken care of because she can't get around and stuff. So, yep, she got pretty bad cancer. I know that sounds all sad. Like, why did I just bring up that sad topic? But we all die. It happens. No one can live forever. She's 70, so she lived to a good age. And sometimes you might actually want to start with that gray tone, a light gray tone over your entire figure, and actually start with that before you start shading. And sometimes that, and then add the highlights, with the white. Sometimes that's kind of cool. So it kind of resembles, or you can just color the entire background that color. So it's like as if you're coloring on a gray paper or something, toned paper, where you're using the white charcoal and black, or white and black pencil. Right, thank you for watching. Again, if you've enjoyed this so far and it's helped you, please comment and rate. I appreciate it. I really like comments, even if it's just like to say, hey, this has really helped me. It might sound redundant, maybe you've said it before in other videos, but I like hearing it. It makes me feel good. Thanks.